Thanks for staying with us right here on Sunrise as we continue this morning. Of course, we're coming to you from the Eskom Expo for young scientists out in Ekurhuleni at the Batchwood Hotel. And yeah, there was a little bit of some science action there. Of course, our lights went off, but we're back with you. And for a conversation this morning, I'm joined by Dava Govender, who is the Group Executive for Transmission, Acting Group Executive Risk and Sustainability at Eskom. You guys are the main sponsor for this expo, and we're just talking about Eskom's involvement. The expo has been going on for 37 years, and Eskom has been involved for the past 18 to 20 years. Now, sustainability of this project, you put in money into this. Just tell us about that.
So from Eskom's point of view, we sponsor a lot of things in the country, but this is one of our flagship sponsorships, which we'll probably never let go. We'll invest more, but we expect more companies to actually get involved. We see this as a big investment in the future of the country. We encourage at a young age for students to be involved in maths and science, and we are absolutely honored and privileged to be the main sponsor. But I also want to thank the other sponsors that have contributed to this, and I encourage more of the corporates to get involved, because certainly the people that develop out of this, that go into the engineering fields and science fields, will certainly fill positions in companies and technical companies. So there's a value for a whole lot of other people to be involved in as well.
Obviously, you could have just focused on engineering, electrical, the space that really speaks to you as a company, but you're part of you sponsor the overall expo, and you challenge other fields of sciences to be part of this. Why is this a good investment for you as a company?
So Eskom's role, besides being the national energy utility, is obviously we train people for the broader economy as well. So we train a lot of people. Sometimes you cannot accommodate all of them. So we also let them into the broader economy. But we're saying our role is also from a development point of view. We're supporting the national development plan in terms of looking and saying, how do we educate the masses in the country? How do we provide them with a mechanism to get the education and develop even further beyond the school level? So that's one of the reasons why we're sponsoring, not only limited to engineering. We look at the whole broader issue from a country perspective. And we want to grow it beyond the borders of South Africa. That's why you see quite a few countries from Africa being involved, even Brazil. So we are seeing it growing beyond the borders.
In terms of like the National Development Plan, it's a strategy document, really for the government, but for us as a nation, as an entity of government, as a company, the significance of breaking that down to a level of, supporting a project like this with students. How do you make sure that it speaks to that and these young people actually live up to what you're trying to achieve in meeting those goals?
So one of the biggest problems in terms of this country is obviously unemployment. And we are saying we need to start at a very young level from the kids. So even though we start off here with grade 6, we're looking for the years to come where we actually get grade 4 and 5s to come in and start stimulating to get interested in, certainly in maths and engineering and science. One of the prerequisites we put in terms of the sponsorship is that there must be quite a lot of schools from disadvantaged areas. And also another requirement is that majority must be females. Yeah. I said in the opening yesterday that, there's an African proverb that says, if you educate a man, you educate an individual. But if you educate a female, you educate a nation. So it's one of the things we're driving as well. And even though one of the big problems in this country is that we're one of the most unequal societies in this country in terms of wealth. So we want to get the people educated so that they have an opportunity to actually go beyond the school level into the tertiary education and educate themselves and get into a position where they are actually be able to fill in the aging profile we have in terms of academics that we have in the country and technical people we have in this country. And I think we've seen a lot of value in that, because I think for the last 3-4 years, Eskom has been voted by the engineering fraternity as the best company to work for from an engineering point of view, and we've seen that.
So now me and you are standing in the chemist aisle now. I mean, like across me, it's forensics there. The connection between height and surface texture on blood splatter patterns, that speaks directly to solving crime issues in our country. But now you're a chemist by training. Does this take you back to school?
Well, it takes me as a combination of school and university, because when I first got involved and I looked at some of the work that grade 6 and 7s were busy with. And some of the projects that came up was actually an embarrassment, because some of the issues they tabled in their projects is work that I did in second year university. So over the period, it shows how education has evolved.
Yeah.
And it was actually embarrassing to see at that level in school the stuff that they can actually talk about and converse when you ask them questions about chemistry. So I was actually very impressed. It does bring back, I can actually see that, our standard of education, even though we have a lot of issues with it, we got a long way to go. But like the Deputy Minister of Basic Education, Envasoti, said yesterday, we are making progress.
Yeah.
So a lot of work needs to go. Today is also Teachers' Day. Everyone aware of that? Today is we actually respect the teachers. So one of the things that he also spoke about is having a program in place to make sure that we actually have a program for teachers to make sure that they're equipped to actually teach the kids. And we spoke about what makes countries, from educational point of view, do well. Like Singapore is regarded as the best education system in the world. What differentiates them? One is a teaching program for teachers, and the second one is about the whole issue of digitization for kids, with the computers, with the IT. And I think that's what he's driving as well in terms of this country.
All right. Well, of course, thanks you very much, Dava Governor, for chatting to us there this morning. You are the Transmission and Action Group Executive for Risk and Sustainability at Eskom. Now, I'm surrounded by a lot of young people. Today, your teachers are not here. You can say Happy Teachers' Day to all the teachers. Happy Teachers' Day. Okay, so now we're wrapping things up. Me and you agreed. We're going to say, when I say science, you say? Well, that's how it is. Of course, we are wrapping things up. Do stay with us. We're coming back with more. It is Sunrise Live right here on ETV. I've always been a good teacher. I can command.